show you how to transform these into this, here is Oliver ready to share with you the gifts of macrobiotics.
So I'm Oliver Cowardo, principal of the International Macrobiotics School. I was asked to talk about the gifts of macrobiotics. So first of all, I'd like to talk a bit about the nature of life. Macrobiotics is a deep philosophy and talks about the nature of life. We all know that we have physical needs, we have emotional needs, we have thoughts going on, we learn mentally. But really, if we want to understand what is the purpose of our life, what are we here for, we have to go to a deeper level of understanding. We have to feel, we have to use our hearts, we have to use our intuitions to feel out actually what is life about, what is the deeper meaning of life. What an amazing gift it is that we're given these incredible bodies and we're on this beautiful planet with many beautiful people and beautiful things going on. What a gift this is, and actually what is the purpose of all of this? So for me, one of the greatest things I take from macrobiotics really is the nature of life. And my conclusion I came to some time ago is that the purpose of our life is for us to continuously grow, and to grow in our wisdom, to grow emotionally, to grow in our health. And for this, we need to be continuously learning. It's also to help other people grow, because this is the name of the game, I would say, for us on this planet, is to learn. And it seems like in some ways we're very wise, and in other ways we're very thick. We're doing the most stupid things, individually and collectively and globally. And we often have to take things to the brink. We have to create disasters and experience great difficulties before we are more or less forced to come out of our kind of easy, non-conscious comfort zone and to start thinking about, actually, how do I need to change my actions? How do I need to change my thinking? How do I need to live differently? Michio Kushi, one of the kind of leading teachers of macrobiotics who passed on some years ago, wrote the book of macrobiotics. For me, that's been a great guide for many years. And he has a section there, the spirit of macrobiotics, and in there he says we need to welcome difficulties. When I first read this, I thought, you must be joking. Who likes difficulties? Not many of us do. Not many of us like pain. But what he was saying is that when we face difficulties, whether they're practical difficulties, physical difficulties, emotional difficulties, emotions, relationship difficulties, at work, whatever it is, we need difficulties, because the reason why we experience them as difficult is because we haven't grown in our understanding and our way of living to deal with those situations. And it's painful becoming more conscious. Lots of people think they want to become more conscious. It's a very fundamental drive in us to become more conscious, more aware. But if we want to become more conscious, it means facing more pain, experiencing more pain. So another kind of fundamental, you might say, law of nature that macrobiotics has always included, which is common to other philosophies as well, is that everything changes. If we can embrace this fundamental truth that everything changes, I think it's fundamental to our health, which I'll explain more about in a bit. And I think it's also fundamental to our happiness as well. So these are a few of the more kind of deeper teachings of macrobiotics about life. Actually, if you look into many different philosophies and religions, they have a lot of these principles in common. So I want to go from that kind of bigger, deeper view to being more practical. Macrobiotics has become well known as a way of looking after our health, and particularly using food. And as Hippocrates in ancient Greece said a long time ago, food is our medicine and medicine is our food. And I think Macrobiotics has really taken that to a highly developed level, without, very importantly, without becoming a macro-neurotic, without worrying about all the little details and fearing getting them wrong. Living in fear is not healthy, and it's not what we need to do. It doesn't create happiness. It creates unhappiness and ill health. But Macrobiotics does have an incredible depth of understanding of how food and lifestyle and emotions and different habits impact our internal health, and how we can make changes in all of these in order to maintain our health and keep up our vitality, avoid a lot of the chronic degenerative diseases which affect modern society, etc. Of course, not perfect. No system is. No one understands everything. Part of the understanding of how to look after our health is recognizing what I was talking about before, that everything changes. We all need something different. And also, because everything changes, we need to change our food. Our health is changing all the time. And so we need different food all the time. So if we really want to eat to keep up our health, then we need a way of understanding how our health changes, and then know how to adopt our lifestyle, our food, our exercise, etc., to keep bringing us back into balance. Macrobiotics, and from its roots in Oriental medicine, has a really in-depth way of monitoring our health. We run, if you're interested in Oriental learning more in depth, well, if you're interested in just learning how to cook a lot of good recipes and a generally balanced diet, I would recommend our 5-day Looking After Your Health course, which we've been running for 18 years now. Very successful course that people love. But we're also studying Oriental diagnosis, so you can learn how to change your food according to your changing health. If you want more depth than that, then our 30-day foundation year course will really give you a deep understanding. The potential for us to look after our own health rather than waiting until we get sick and then using Western medicine to try and heal ourselves. The potential is just enormous. And another kind of very practical aspect of Macrobiotics, applying the philosophy, understanding, coming from the Orient, it's understanding life as not only composed of the physical world, the emotional, the mental world, but also the energetic world that is common to most, or nearly all, traditional, really truly traditional understandings around the world. There is a life energy, which is our body works because of the life energy flowing through it, through the acupuncture meridians, through the chakras, etc., as well as working for physical reasons. The body, how we function, who we are, is understood in the same way, and also our food is understood in the same way. Different foods have different energies, so they affect our body in different ways. Grains and beans and different vegetables and fruits and things, everything affects our body in different ways. Also, how we cook foods really affects what they do in the body. A fourth advantage is to live lightly. By living lightly, by learning to look after ourselves, we draw less on nature. Also, we draw less on society. So it helps our health, helps feed the world, helps our environment enormously, and would also help greatly reduce our carbon footprint, especially if we focus on mostly eating local foods.
Come with me. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a delicious courgette soup with some of these late summer gifts from the garden. Heat the oil in a pan, add in the diced onion to the pan and saute for a couple of minutes, making sure to stir frequently. Add in the diced courgette, the basil. Here I'm using a mix of dried and fresh basil. Add a pinch of salt and give this a stir and saute for about 5 minutes over a low heat. Next, add in water, oat flakes and herb salt and then bring to a boil. Allow to simmer gently for about 20 minutes. Add in the white miso and blend into a smooth consistency. Give it a taste and then add in a little more white miso if necessary. Serve with a garnish of your choice. Here I'm using some homemade croutons, which I made using some good quality sourdough bread cut into chunks and then deep fried in oil for a minute until crispy. I then mixed these with some freshly chopped spring onions or scallions, and here you have it, a beautiful courgette soup and a wonderful way to use up those courgettes. All right folks, that is it for today's episode. Tune in next week for pan-fried tofu and the lowdown on how to create a healthy vegan diet.